May I now invite our next guest and the final guest for the 2 month long international Intersect virtual festival that we have been hosting, started on 7th of May. Today we are at July 9th. We have hosted about 450 plus participants. We have hosted 37 speakers. We have hosted 13 sessions back to back. I was doing the maths today. We have hosted 12 and a half hours of content from across 20 countries. So it
Wow.
has been amazing. And
Wow.
I remember for the first inauguration, I had reached out to Hatim and I said, you should do the inaugural for this. And Hatim was, somewhere in South America, I will find more about it, hitchhiking his way around Chile or somewhere on the Andes. And I'm like, okay, guy, he messaged me. I'm like, okay, please don't bother. I mean, you are doing something phenomenal and much more important than the virtual Zoom call. But Hatim is
Oh,
here now. I'm so happy that Hatim took out the
an
time.
honor. It's a
And I've
pleasure.
been after Hatim's life since 2019 when I first visited African Leadership Academy with Dr. Sanjeev P. Sani when we were in Johannesburg and we were on a 4 country Africa tour doing teacher training programs and we signed that MOU and phenomenal. I mean, and even before that, during my time at Ashoka University, I had students from ALA coming to our campus. We hosted a couple of career counselors as well on our campus, and I was there because I used to run the Ashoka Scholars Program. And I know, I mean, having traveled to 18 plus countries on the continent, how difficult it is to find bright minds. And when somebody told me there is this school where you can find students from all the continent, they have done the hard thing. They have got the students under one roof. Why don't you go there? I'm like, great. I mean, is there an institution like this? So many friends, I mean, we made from the community. What a fantastic institution. And so proud of what Hatim and the team has been doing. And Hatim, especially, I mean, just to introduce Hatim, Hatim is currently on the board of ALA, African Leadership Academy. But I remember when I was there in 2019, he was a dean
Correct.
the school. He's a graduate of Harvard University. Then in between, he also went to Columbia to Teachers College, I think 2019, 2020, and has been doing some tireless work in representing ALA, doing managing students, managing teachers, building that institution ground up. I think the founding dean, if I'm not wrong, please correct me if I'm mistaken.
Not the founding
But
dean, but longest serving.
long, I mean, for me, I mean, since 2019, today is 2026. And
Yeah.
so I've been seeing Hatim. ALA means Hatim to me. So I mean, so it was my founding phase to ALA. So Hatim, what an honor
Thank you.
to have
Thank you.
you
It's good to
here
be
with
here.
us. And I really wanted you for the inaugural, but it's no problem. At the concluding session, you are here on a 2 month long journey. We are closing
Wonderful.
today with your session. I could not have asked for a better session to do this. And it all, the universe conspires. I mean, I asked Hatim, he said, okay, this time will work for me. I said, okay, perfect. This will be the closing of my 2 month journey. So thank you so much,
Yeah.
Hatim.
Yeah.
The God is kind. So now tell us, my friend, I mean, the African Leadership Academy has
Mm.
become part of one of the most distinctive high schools in the world. I mean, what an experiment.
Mm.
But for those who may not know about
Mm.
this, and I
Mm.
just want to add this as well, this session is being recorded. So
Yeah.
we will be putting it on our YouTube, social
Yeah.
media channels as well. Uh,
Mm.
for people who may not know ALA, who may not know the philosophy, who may not have come in touch with people like you in person or had students from ALA coming to their institutions.
Yeah.
I mean, how will you introduce ALA and the work that you're doing at African Leadership
Absolutely.
Academy?
Absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, Ankur, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for being patient with me as well. Not just this
Most
last
welcome.
couple of months about this talk, but for many years. I feel that
Many years, many
it's,
years.
it's been a big privilege to continue working together, and I hope to one day be able to visit you. I'm sure that day is coming soon.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
so ALA was founded in 2008. We opened our doors in 2008, and it was founded on two very simple beliefs. The first one is that Africa is not a place of poverty, it's a place of abundance. It is abundant in resources, it is abundant in people, it is abundant in culture, in potential, in hope, in spirit. The second one is that the missing ingredient for Africa's transformation, the missing ingredient to transform that abundance is leadership, ethical and effective leadership. We know that leadership potential exists in all young people, in every village, in every town, in every city, in every home, in every school, there's leadership potential. But typically, only a small percentage of those people who have that potential get the opportunity to achieve impact. What would happen if you built a school that every year worked hard to identify the most promising potential from across Africa, put them through a world-class leadership development experience? It's not just academic, but it's academics in service of leadership, and then connected them to each other and to a lifetime of opportunities to translate that potential into impact. So since 2008, that's been the founding idea for ALA, right? We want to make a lasting contribution to the transformation of Africa into a place of lasting peace, shared prosperity. The contribution we are going to make will be manifold, but the key piece is delivering generations of ethical and effective leaders. And the way that we do that is with a secondary education program, fully residential based here in Johannesburg. That's how I introduce ALA.
Oh, beautiful. I mean, Africa is a land of abundance. I
Yeah.
love that line. I mean, you had me there. I mean, the moment we speak about Africa, I mean, so just a anecdote here. When I tell people here in India, or when I travel overseas to
Yeah.
developed countries, that
Yeah.
I travel to about 18 plus countries in Africa, they're like, "Why Africa? Why didn't you go to Europe or maybe yeah, yeah, that's the place to be?" I'm like, no, but I really love. I mean, so I mean that connotation that Africa is a
Yes.
land of poverty, of chaos,
Mm,
and
mm,
of a place struggling, and then
mm,
everybody is trying to run off from the continent. And then I
mm.
talk to them about people like you, and that's why I've been so patient with you because there's so there are so few of people like you that are there and building in Africa. I have many friends across the world. Thankfully, I've been
Mm,
blessed with that. But
mm,
people who are in Africa, who have made
mm,
Africa their home, and who are trying to contribute and
mm,
trying to build in Africa,
mm,
even though they
mm,
have gone on to study at top
mm,
institutions, came
mm,
back, they could have
mm,
taken the
mm,
world. I mean, stayed in that part
mm,
of the world where
mm.
everybody aspires to, but then to come back and to build
Yeah.
such institutions, it's such a motivating that energy itself. I want to acknowledge this. Even in 2019, why I have deep respect for that I was coming through ALA, that you need
Mm,
to, I mean, there is no problem in terms of, I mean, we are not here looking for only for scholarships. We are looking for
mm,
talent, and you are given access to that talent across 54 countries of Africa to
yeah.
come and call ALA their home. And
Mm,
then have a residential campus. I mean, I was just
mm.
seeing on the YouTube. I mean, I think your graduation happened. I saw the latest
Yes, yes,
graduation
yes, yes.
video. What an
Yeah.
amazing way that student introduced her experience of ALA.
Right,
And the way
right.
I did 2.5 minutes that girl really summarized what I think. I will recommend that video to
Please, yeah,
everybody from
it's a
there.
very touching message, and I think she spoke very earnestly, but also very beautifully to describe the experience. She was a Kenyan woman who just
Yeah.
graduated from Joki, and just to the connection she had with her peers and growing together in this community. Absolutely.
And I am sure as you as the dean, as by somebody who has been, it will give you goosebumps to hear those stories, and those kids transform
Yes,
in front of your eyes when they
yes.
come in and they walk in, and they're tentative, and then they're looking finding their feet, and then over the years you see them transform. And then I mean, so what a
Absolutely,
journey,
Ankur. Absolutely.
what a
Yeah,
pleasure to see
yeah.
those kids. When she mentions, I mean, this place asked more of me than I could. I imagined that I would be able to deliver. I mean, that line itself is such a inspiring as a teacher myself. I
Mm.
mean, I think that's why we education institutions exist, to encourage and to transform our students and to ask more of them. And then
Mm.
when they deliver, that's when the
Mm.
purpose of education
Mm.
institution is served. And then that
Mm.
student, and what you're doing at ALA is not only changing the life of that one student, but you are changing the life and trying to build a future for the entire country that that student represents. And then having those change makers across in those different countries. So
Mm.
Amazing, huge respect to what you
Thank
are
you.
doing and
Thank
what
you.
ALA is doing. I mean, big fan. Whenever I see ALA person, I just go and grab them. I'm like, okay, I met one. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. I met your career counselor, a lady in Ghana in October. I
Yes.
was there for a conference and
Was
I
it
met her
Christabel,
and I'm like,
possibly?
Yes,
Maybe.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe,
Oh,
but
in Ghana at a career event.
in
Okay, perhaps
Accra,
Downhill or
in
something like
international
that. Yes.
ACAC.
Okay,
So I was there
wonderful.
in October, and then
Yeah.
I met that lady, and I didn't know anything about her, but I just went and said hello. I said, I really want to say acknowledge what you are doing is amazing,
Uh,
and you have a staunch advocate in India.
oh,
I'm
wonderful.
there, but more power
Wonderful.
to what you are doing. Uh, so I mean, very unique model, Hatim,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
what you're trying to build is amazing,
mhm,
bringing students from all those 54
mhm,
countries. It's a huge task. I mean, as coming from
mhm.
my own admissions background, I
Yeah.
know how
Yeah.
hard it is to get talent
Yes. Yes.
and have those motivated, as we say, best fit students for your
Yes.
kind of institution, what
Yes.
you're trying to build. So, if you could just quickly summarize, I know it's a very loaded question, but what are those qualities in a student that you look for when you are
Yes. Yes.
recruiting for
Yes.
African Leadership Academy? What are
Yes.
those things?
Yes, yeah, no, I mean we're very fortunate to be in a position where our it's we are really genuinely able to select students purely based on their potential for the program, right? So we have supporters that make it possible for us to recruit the students regardless of their financial background and bring them to ALA purely on the basis of that leadership potential question. And so we put a lot of time and energy into thinking, okay, what does leadership potential look like in a 15, 16, 17-year-old? But before I talk about the criteria, I'll say just a couple of philosophical beliefs we have about the recruitment process, which will not be dissimilar to many of the peers on the call and how they think about identifying candidates for their own institutions. Number one, we want to evaluate students based on the context that they're in. So I'm not going to take a student from a very highly well-resourced private institution and compare them with a student who is not even in formal schooling side by side, right? I want to say, what is the context you're in? What's the resources available to you? Have you made the most of the resources available to you? Number two, we want to remove the unnecessary hurdles or barriers. So, for example, although English is the medium of instruction for ALA, we permit the students to apply in English or in French or in Portuguese or in Arabic. They can complete
Wow.
the
Okay.
application process in one of four languages, and that covers probably 95% of the classrooms in Africa in terms of medium of instruction. Number three, we take the reference of an adult in the community who knows ALA quite well. So a
Mm,
15-year-old might not always be the best at representing what they have achieved, but somebody who has watched that 15-year-old in context and provides a reference to us can be quite a strong collaborator and corroborate that leadership journey that they're on. In terms of the criteria, we look for four things. We talk about intellectual readiness, which includes academic achievement, but also includes curiosity, because ALA is a academically rigorous program first and foremost. But it's not just about being the top student in the class. It's about really being genuinely interested in the material. We look for courage and perseverance. So have you taken on something that scares you? Have you persisted in the face of something difficult? We look for ownership. So are you a young person who feels responsible for the world around them, improving the situation around them? If you have a problem with something that's happening in your school, do you just complain? Or do you feel like you can do something about solving that problem? If you are unhappy with your peer's behavior, do you just ignore your peer or do you confront them? So ownership is a big deal for us. And then the last one, which we added actually 5 years ago when we re-articulated, refreshed our admission selection criteria, we describe a trait called interdependence. We're interested in people who are interested in people.
mm,
If you are not curious about other human beings, if you think your future has nothing to do with the future of other human beings, if you are um, if you're scared of difference and diversity, then um, ALA will be a difficult journey for you, and the leadership potential you're exhibiting is not necessarily the kind that was going to uplift the continent altogether. So, no one candidate will show all of these things, but we're looking for obviously a mix of responses that show us those criteria.
amazing, amazing. And I think it will be pretty competitive to get into ALA with these kind of
Sure.
set of. I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah.
So people who make it to ALA are going to be people who really are, uh, you know, adhering to all these qualities that you talked about. Especially love the last one, interdependence. I
Mhm.
think that is a very important one for anybody. I mean, you can be all getting all A's or A plus, but if that is missing, then probably you would be on the next flight to America rather than going back to your own country and trying to contribute to that. So
Right.
I think
Exactly.
that is the
Exactly.
thing that you guys have to be mindful about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
So what I know we have a hard stop at 6, so I'm
Sure.
mindful of
Yes.
that. So I'm just running
Sure.
through my questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
What
Thank you.
what makes a, I mean, students is one thing, but then having teachers and staff also to run this place,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
live the ALA philosophy day in, day out, because yes, it
Yeah.
sounds attractive on websites and
Yeah.
videos, but to live it through and through every day
Yes.
will be
Yes.
a challenge. So how
Yeah.
do you work on building recruiting or this
Yeah.
this human capital in your
Yeah.
teachers and staff?
Yeah, we're on a journey of this, right? So when I first joined ALA the first time, I first came to ALA in 2009. It was really at the beginning of my career. We were just a 30-person organization. It was 30 teachers, 180 students, very, very small faculty. And everybody who came was coming to join a startup. We didn't know whether this idea was going to succeed, survive. Sometimes we have just enough money for 1 month. We don't know if the money for next month is going to come, right? And at the time, those are the people who came were just coming because they believed in a dream. And that is a powerful kind of community to build, but it's not sustainable. People can't live just on dreams, right? You have to build a track record, evidence, success, systems, institutions. Today, we're almost 2 decades old. We're established institution. You have an established track record. We have ways of doing things. And so the thing that we have to be careful of is not to become too conservative because things are working. Like I wonder, I know that we have to still be recruiting young people who are excited about the vision, who are excited to innovate, who are excited to build, and be a place where someone can have a 15, 20, 25-year career because they want to do a depth of service with this community. We want to have a diverse teaching faculty that represents the diversity and reflects the diversity in the young people. For me, an ALA faculty member has to be adaptable because we're always looking for continuous improvement. They have to be culturally um, expansive, culturally responsive because it's such a diverse community and many children are really away from home for the first time. But for me, maybe the most important thing is I think faculty members, and this is true for any school, good faculty should think of themselves as learners always. And they are learners of two disciplines. They are learners of the discipline that they teach, and they are learners of pedagogy. You're never finished. If you're a history teacher, you're never finished learning history. And the fact that you continue to be passionate about advancing your knowledge in history is what makes you infectious as a historian. Your curiosity will be translated to the students. If you're not curious about history, if you don't feel like you're still learning about history, they will not be curious about history. And then the second one is to treat teaching as a true discipline grounded in real philosophical and scientific principles, of which you are continuously improving your craft. That, if we can have those two things combined, and then a faculty that is Pan-African, that has experienced people in it, but always has youthful energy as well, that's what we're driving towards. It's not always like that, but that's the aspiration.
Absolutely, and I can imagine. I mean, it will not always be like that because there are a lot of challenges. Even
Yes,
in India, we
yes,
have challenges.
yeah,
Because I am also associated in education for last 16 years. I know
yeah,
how hard it is to transform, have those right material of teachers that you want for your institution and then encouraging them, motivating them, but having that understanding of, and I work in academia, which is higher education, where we have the
yes,
added qualification of a doctor in front of our names.
yes.
I mean, then it goes to some of our heads, and we're like, okay, we know everything. I said, no, 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 we should, once you have
It's even
doctor,
called
you
a
should say.
terminal degree, right? You're finished. There's no more after this.
And when I started my PhD journey, I'm like the first coursework I did, and I'm like, Actually, I mean, I now know I know nothing. I mean, for
There you
life, I
go.
would know nothing because there is
There you
just this
go.
narrow part of knowledge that I will
Mm,
ever get to understand. I mean, so
yes.
that means PhD means I know nothing. And that is the first thing I should keep on my head outside as a lifelong learner. What you're
Yeah.
mentioning is
Yeah.
absolutely correct. And it is so, and the pedagogy aspect is absolutely true. How do you teach? Approach your students better because each class will be very different from the last class and each student will have different needs. Are you passionate enough to transform and just think of, I mean, I mean, teacher, I mean, I was at a training program at IIM Ahmedabad, which is one of our leading, I mean, the closest analogy will be Harvard in the East.
Mm, mm,
One of we were in a teacher training program, and one of the faculty members who was doing a talk for us on our faculty development program was it. He said, teachers are like actors. You should always think about that there will never be perfection in your life. You will always continue to seek
mm,
perfection till the
mm,
last class that you will ever have, till the
mm.
last breath. You will still not be sure that I have done enough. So that is the feeling that you should have every class that you
Uh,
go to. Am I prepared? Am I doing better than the last class? Have I learned something? So that constant learning. And there is
mm.
this fantastic documentary he showed, Zero Dreams of Sushi. It's a
Oh,
Japanese
okay.
chef
Aha.
who he's 100-year old, started cooking, started his own restaurant, cooking sushi at the age of 9. So there's
Wow.
this wonderful documentary, uh,
Wow.
Zero Dreams of Sushi, Japanese chef. He's a Michelin star chef. And he's 100-year old, still goes to the restaurant every day. And somebody asked him, now you have everything. President Obama dined at your restaurant. The Prime
Mhm.
Minister of Japan brings his
Mhm.
guests to you for
Mhm.
your. I mean, he runs a very small restaurant. It's not a fancy five-star. It's just, he said, I'm not happy because I've not reached perfection and I have to reach perfection. So he showed us this documentary and his lifestyle. I'm like, yes. And then he said, are you the zero of your own profession? And
Yeah.
if you are a teacher, you have to have that ideology that I have not reached perfection and
Mhm.
I don't know everything. And he says, I don't know
Mhm.
how to prepare more sushis or different kind of sushis. He knows so much about sushis, but still the world comes to him to learn the art of
Yeah.
making sushi. And this
Yeah.
guy is saying, no, no, I don't know everything. Why are you coming to me? I mean, oh man, what a documentary. And I blew my mind. I'm like, okay, that's why I have meet people like Hatim and others. They're still seeking that thing that, I'm still trying to build. So thank you so much. We cannot stop.
Oh,
We teachers cannot
absolutely.
stop learning. We have to
Absolutely.
continue learning, evolving, and become
Absolutely.
best at our trades. I mean,
Mm.
but I know 5 minutes left, and I have three questions left, so I
It's
have to be
okay.
quick.
Yeah.
What do I mean, I represent university. What do
Yes.
ALA universities? I had this pointer. Think about
Yeah.
university choices because you
LA
started
students.
with
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
you started with Africa being a land of abundance.
Mhm.
So what is that mindset shift
Yeah.
that you are trying to
Yeah.
bring in the students at ALA?
Absolutely.
What are
Absolutely.
what are your thoughts
Absolutely.
and what are you
Yeah, yeah,
seeing
yeah.
with your
Yeah,
students?
I mean, I want to start by acknowledging, firstly, that university partnerships are the most important relationships for the institution that ALA has built. Obviously, we rely deeply on donor funding. That's important. They fund the scholarships to come to ALA. But actually, in terms of dollars invested, universities have invested 3 times as much in our graduates than we have invested in them ourselves. ALA graduates have earned more than $250 million in university scholarships since ALA was opened. So we know that the next step for the vast majority of ALA students will be to a high quality tertiary experience, which then prepares them to return to the continent and do meaningful work and have a career that is highly impactful. If you asked me 10 years ago, what do ALA students think of university? Almost all of them would be saying the United States. Like that's if I come to ALA, I want to go to the US, I want to get go to a top 100 university, liberal arts college or whatever it is. And that's what's going to give me the career that I want, going to give me the prestige that I want, going to give me whatever. The world is very different today, and ALA students have uh, moved their thinking quite deeply on a fundamental level, not just because they're worried about access or visas or anything else, but on a pretty core level, a belief that Africa's future is going to be more defined by its relationship with the East than it will be by its relationship with the West. And increasingly, the students are thinking of the university, if they're studying abroad, and 85% of our students study out university outside of Africa, how am I going to be using this as a launch pad to build the networks, build the relationships, build the cultural understanding, which can inform the rest of my career? Of course, they want to have a academically rigorous tertiary experience. They want to have a tertiary experience which is attuned or sensitive to international students. They don't want to be isolated. They want to be safe. Um, and I would say that more and more of them are looking to the East, looking beyond the prior bias about North America or about the West. And I support that fully. I'm very excited about it.
Thank you so much. I shared Zero Dreams of Sushi in the chat for people who may be interested in finding more about the Wikipedia page and the Prime Video documentary. So you can go check it out. I recommend highly everybody should check it out. It's not when the professor showed us on a CD. I mean, it was not available online in India, but Amazon has it on Prime in US and other places. But please do check it out. I mean, it will transform it. Teachers should check this out. Thank you for your feedback on the ALA students' university journey. But I have two questions in 2 minutes. So I will
Okay.
be
Yeah.
concluding my
Yeah.
session because I have to stick to the time.
Thank you.
Is ALA replicable? If somebody wants
Mm,
to replicate more of ALA institutions, how
mm,
can we go about that? What are your thoughts, quick thoughts on that? And finally, what will be, you know, your understanding of the impact that you want ALA to have through its
yeah.
students, through its institution. So
Yes.
that's my
Yes.
final questions,
Yes.
Hatim. Over to
Yeah.
you.
Those, I'll connect them together.
Yeah.
Um, in 10, 20, 30, 40 years' time, of course, I want to know that ALA graduates individually are having an impact, right? I want to be able to open the newspaper and see there's not a single country on the continent in civil war or conflict, and these peace deals were brought by ALA peacemakers. I want to read about the top companies in the world and the best scientists in the world and know that some of them came from ALA. And I also know that several thousand change makers is not enough for the future that we need. We need to transform the education system. And I would like to know that ALA, as a pioneer in rethinking purpose-oriented secondary education, is contributing to that transformation as one of the players contributing to that transformation. So, to this question of what can I replicate, whether at the classroom level, at the department level, at the school-wide level, our core curriculum around entrepreneurship and leadership is one of the products that we make available freely to the world. So anybody who wants to go to our website or go to anzisha.org, I can put the link in the chat, can find packs that are downloadable, freely available, open source for teaching entrepreneurship, teaching leadership at the high school level, because we think those are transferable skills. Even if you don't start a business, you can have a big impact in whatever sector that you follow.
Thank you so much, Hatim. That's the time we had. I mean, you are amazing. I mean,
Thank
you
you.
have a big fan in me, and
Thank you.
please continue doing the inspiring work that you're doing. More power to you, your students, your community. Always an honor, and I look forward to probably hosting you. Probably one. We will
I
love
look
to
forward.
host you
We will
next
make it
year in
happen.
February for Intersect 6, 12 to
Wonderful.
14th Feb. I'll
Wonderful.
be in touch and we'll love to host you in person at our campus in Delhi NCR. Always an honor. Thank you,
Thank you for
Hatim.
the
Thank you for your
time.
time. Have a great day ahead.